go on simultaneous.
No, we'll speak, then they'll translate. It's not simultaneous.
I'd like to thank everyone, the children and others have offered me arti reception.
So I would like to thank everyone, the children and others who have offered me Arati reception.
महाराज पुराजन तुमक परिवार समेत पुराजनांक आयलीं त्यांनी तांकां आरती कोण स्वागत केलेलें तांकां पुराजनाक स्वागत करता आसतली महाराज.
Since I'm preaching in Karnataka, I have the good fortune of having a number of co-stars with Brahmins.
So since I am preaching in Karnataka, I have the good fortune of having some number of Gauda Saraswat Brahmins,
महाराज
disciples.
महाराज कर्नाटकांत तूं प्रिचींग करता आसती तांणी सांगता आसती की म्हाका मस्त गौड सारस्वत ब्राह्मण भक्तां ओट्टू संपर्क येता आनी शिष्य आसत तांगेले.
Also in Kerala and Middle East.
Also in Kerala and Middle East.
केरळांत आनी मिडल ईस्टांत.
So, but some people also from Maharashtra and Goa.
So some people are also from the Maharashtra Gauda
महाराष्ट्र आनी गोवा रिजन आदोकूनय आसती सांगता.
and Goa.
And Goa region, Goa going to open us.
I was told that they came to Gouda from Bengal. But I understand there's different concepts.
So I was told that they are from Gauda, that means Bengal, but I understand there are different concepts.
गौडा म्हळ्यार तांणी बेंगॉल रिजन आदोकून आसती म्हणून जाल्यार हे मस्तकड कॉन्सेप्ट आसत हे नांव कशें आयलें म्हणून ते सांगता.
But in the Sudhama Purana, it says that some Gaudas and Brahmins came with Parshuram.
But in the Skanda Purana, it says some Gauda Saraswat Brahmins, they came with Parashurama.
स्कंद पुराणान सांगिल्लें आसा की परशुराम देवाल ओट्टू ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಪರಶುರಾಮ್ ಭೂಮಿಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ती देवाल ओट्टू म्हणून स्कंद पुराणान सांगिल्लें आसा.
That's very ancient.
That's very ancient.
मस्त फुडेच विषय.
And I don't think it's possible to mention calculate when Parshuram was there.
I think it's impossible to calculate when Parasudama was there.
आणि परशुराम देवान अवतार केन्ना घेतिल्लें हे आतां कॅल्क्युलेशन करचें भारी कश्ट आसतलें, भारी एक व्हड विशय आसतलो.
Millions of years ago.
It was millions of years ago.
लक्षकटल्यान वर्ष पुढे विषय हो.
In any case, we know that Swami's forefathers, Sudhama Goswami, and other they came from Karnataka. They were part of the Saraswat Valley.
Anyway, we know that Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswamis, and Anupam's forefathers came from Karnataka, and they were from the Gauda Saraswat community.
जाल्यार ह्यो आपका भक्तांक पुरा गोत आशिल्लो विशय की रूप गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी आनी तांगेले पूर्वज गौड सारस्वत ब्राह्मण समाजाद कोण आशिल्लीं आनी तांणी कर्नाटकाद कोण बंगाल आयिल्लीं.
And sometimes they took out the service. As Brahmins, sometimes they took out the service as ministers or Kshatriyas.
Sometimes they took up the service as Brahmins, sometimes they took up the service as ministers and Kshatriyas.
रूप गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी तांणी एक एक पंथ ब्राह्मणाले ब्राह्मणा म्हणटे आशिल्ले तांगेले स्वभाव आनी एक एक पंथ मिनिस्टर जावन तांगेले क्षत्रिय भाव त्या तांणी दाखयलेले आसा.
we have a land that we purchased in Ramkeli. We tend to have a Tirtha there.
So we purchased a land in Ramakeli and we intend to have a Tirtha Sthan there.
तांगेले रूप गोस्वामी सनातन गोस्वामीले ते जागा राम केली थई इस्कॉन थई जाग घेतलेली आसा जयपताक मान आणि थई मुखारी कसने पुनी डेव्हलपमेंट करचे आसा म्हणून महाराज सांगता सर त्या स्थळार
Lord Chaitanya went around Keli after taking sannyas about 10 years or so.
So Lord Chaitanya went to Ramakeli after taking sannyas 10 years or so.
चैतन्य महाप्रभू कोण देवालय अवतार त्यांनी संन्यास घेऊन 10 वर्ष नंतरी ते राम केली मले स्थानांतू पाविली आशिल्ली.
At that time, Sudhama Goswami was the Prime Minister of the Hossein Shah and Rupa Goswami was Revenue Minister.
So at that time, Sanatan Goswami was the Prime Minister of Hussein Shah and Rupa Goswami was the Revenue Minister.
So नवाब हुसेन शाह राज्यांतू सनातन गोस्वामी प्राइम मिनिस्टर आशिल्ले आणि रूप गोस्वामी रेव्हेन्यू फायनान्स मिनिस्टर जावन आशिल्ले त्या राज्यांत.
So Rupa Sanatan went to see Lord Chaitanya with a straw in their teeth.
So Rupa and Sanatan went to see Lord Chaitanya with a straw in the teeth.
रूप गोस्वामी सनातन गोस्वामी एक तण नम्र भावनान दोन दांतामध्ये तण दवरून तांगेले दर्शन करच्या खातीर रामकेलीन पावलीं.
Begged for his shelter.
And begged for his shelter.
आणि तांगेले शरण आणि आश्रय जावका म्हणून तांगेले देवालय प्रार्थना केली त्यांनी.
That's when he gave them the initiation and gave them the name Rupa and Sanatan.
That's when he gave them the initiation and gave them the name Rupa and Sanatana.
आणि त्या समयारीची त्यांनी दोघ जणांक देवान रूप आणि सनातन गोस्वामीक दीक्षा दिली आणि त्या रूप गोस्वामीनी सनातन गोस्वामी म्हणून दीक्षा नाव वय तांक तेदना दिलें देवान.
Later they escaped to the Vrindavan and after receiving training from Lord Chaitanya, they went to Vrindavan and became 6 Goswamis.
So later they escaped to Vrindavan. After receiving training from Lord Chaitanya, they went to Vrindavan and they became one of the 6 Goswamis.
त्यांनी दोघ जण मागीर थंय दोखून राज्यात तांगेले कार्यभार सोडून वृंदावना पावलीं ती आणि थंय तांणी ते सप्रमुख गोस्वामी आशिल्लीं तांतूंत 2 गोस्वामी जालीं ती चैतन्य महाप्रभू प्रमुख शिष्यांत.
Were called as Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami.
We are called as Rupanugas or the followers of Rupa Goswami.
आणि आम्ही कोण पुरा भक्ती भाग घेता आमकां पुरा जन रूपानुग म्हणटात ती म्हणजे रूप गोस्वामी कोण फॉलोवर्स शिष्य आसात तांकां पुरा जनाक हे गौडीय वैष्णवांत रूपानुग म्हणटात.
I'm very glad to see how you're having programs in Konkani, on Bhagavata Gita, Isatana Buddha Sharita, etc.
So I'm very glad that to see how you all are having program in Konkani on Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, and various books as well. Upadeshamrita as well.
महाराज सांगतात तांकां भारी खुशी जाली या भागवत पुराण ग्रुपारी भगवत गीता ईशो उपनिषद उपदेशामृत असल पुरा प्रभुपाद स्वामीन दिलेलं आमकां पुस्तक आम्ही पुरा हाजे विषयी चर्चा करता आसत आणि प्रवचन ऐकत आसता भारी खुशी जाली.
Almost following all the books required for the Bhakti Shastri.
So you're almost doing all the books required for the Bhakti Shastri.
भक्ती शास्त्री कोर्स तू खंयची खंयची बुक जावका त्या पुरा तुम्ही बुक ऑलरेडी सुरू केला महाराज सांगतात तांकां ऐकून खुशी जाली.
You could somehow be connected, I think, of the Ishan Desire Tree or Vrindavan or Mayapur. They give the exams and get your Bhakti Shastri.
So you are somehow being connected can get connected to the ISKCON Desire Tree of Vrindavan, Mayapur, and get your Bhakti Shastri done.
आम्ही इस्कॉन डिझायर ट्री मायापुरा आणि टू कनेक्ट जाऊन या पुरा कोर्सेस करतात म्हणून जाल्यार भक्तिशास्त्री डिग्री वय तुम्ही घेऊयात मुखारी.
Your programs are very inspiring.
Your programs are very inspiring.
या पुरा प्रोग्राम ऐकून महाराज सांगतात तांकां भारी खुशी जाली म्हणून या पुरा प्रोग्राम ऐकून.
Now, I heard how some of the Saraswat Brahmin youths, when they go to college, they don't really follow their culture.
So I heard that so many Saraswat Brahmin youths, when they go to their college, they don't really follow their culture.
मस्त अशी जालना की आमगेल समाजाची युवक वृंद कोण कॉलेजान तनी बत्ता ती तांकां आमगेले फूड दोकून चोलना येईल तें एक कल्चर आसा आमगेले अनुष्ठान आसा तें फॉलो करूं जायना त्यात करूं जायना म्हूण तांणी आयकली.
Some of them take all their Brahmin threads.
Some of them take out their Brahmin threads.
फूड दोकून घालेल जानू त्यामुळे काण सोडतात आजकाल तेव्हा ऐकलं तसं सांगतात.
We would hope that everyone could practice the system of Lord Chaitanya and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
I hope that everyone can practice the system of Lord Chaitanya and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
जाल्यार चैतन्य महाप्रभून दाखवून दिलेलं वाट आसा हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र जाप आणि कीर्तन करून ह्या पथार आमी पुरा जन मुखारसून वचेत.
I heard in your japa session, some people chant 2 rounds and some 20.
So I heard in your japa session, some people chant 2 rounds and some people chant 20.
जपा सेशनाचे रिपोर्टिंग असत आणि महाराज ऐकली की ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ जन 2 राउंड वय करता असती आणि ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ जन 20 राउंड वय 20 राउंड्स वय करता असती.
2 rounds and 1.25 million a year.
So 2 rounds is 1.25 million a year. Names of Krishna.
दोन राउंड दिवसा केल्यार 1 वर्सांतू 12 लक्ष नाव घेतल्या म्हणजे जाता देवान सगळ्या वर्सांतू म्हणून
It all
सांगतात.
adds up, recurring deposit.
So it all adds up to the recurring deposit.
रिकरिंग डिपॉझिट म्हणजे नाव घेता असल्यार तामगेले वाढता वत तामगेले भक्ती पुंजी म्हणून सांगतात महाराज.
8 rounds is 5 million.
And 8 rounds is 5 million.
आणि 8 राउंड डेली केल्यार वर्सा 50 लक्ष पण नाव घेतल्या म्हणजे जाता देवान.
16 rounds is 1 crore.
And 16 rounds is 1 crore.
आणि 16 राउंड केल्यार 1 crore नाव घेतल्या म्हणजे जाता देवान वर्सा.
I see on the buses in Bombay advertisement in Hindi, "Kaun banayenge crorepati."
I see in the buses in Bombay, there is an advertisement, "Kaun banayenge crorepati."
बॉम्बेच बसर आणि ते एका प्रसिद्ध टीव्ही रेवचे प्रोग्राम असा कौन बनेगा करोडपती म्हणून तशी महाराज सांगतात कौन बनेगा करोडपती म्हणजे 16 राउंड कोण 1 करोड नाव घेता ती पण पळयतात आम्ही.
So we hope that all the Saraswat community will become crorepatis.
And we hope that all the Saraswat community would become crorepatis.
आणि पुरा सारस्वत समाजात जन देवाल नामस्मरण कोण त्यांनी सांगले म्हणजे पुरा जनानं देवाल नामस्मरणात करोडपती जाव का म्हणून महाराज सांगतात.
In the holy name.
In the holy name.
देवाल नामस्मरणात करोडपती जाव का.
We don't mind other types of crorepati.
We don't mind other types of crorepati.
But at least holy name.
But at least the holy name. That's the most important.
विंगड रितेरी करोडपती जाल्यार कांय ओड नाही तो चांगू विषय जाल्यार देवाल नामस्मरण करताना करोडपती थंडीच जाव का.
Read today how when Krishna arrived outside of Dwarka, he sounded his white conch shell.
So we was reading today how Krishna, when he arrived outside of Dwarka, he sounded his white conch shell.
आज त्यांनी वाजिता आशिल्ले ભાગવત તંતુ તાની કી દ્વારકે અંતુ કૃષ્ણને ભીતર યોચી પછી ફૂડે તન તંગેલ કશી શંખનાદ કેલો મણ.
And how the conch shell, by touching Lord Krishna's mouth, became reddish.
How the conch shell, by touching Lord Krishna's mouth, it became reddish.
દેવાને વંટા લાગોનું તે ધવો શીલો શંકુ તમડો જલો કે.
So it's said that by coming in contact with Krishna, that one got the conch shell got spiritualized.
It says that by coming in touch with Lord Krishna, the conch shell became spiritualized.
શંક શીલો તો દેવાલ સ્પર્શ માત્રાને છી તજે તે આધ્યાત્મિક જલને મળે તે સચ્ચિદાનંદ જલને म्हणून તે મહારાજ સંગતા છે.
So similarly, if you make your life in contact with Krishna, then it becomes spiritualized.
Similarly, if you make your life in contact with Krishna, it becomes spiritualized.
તશીંચી તે શંકા મન કે આમની દેવાલ નામસ્મરણ અને દેવાલ સંબંધ પાવિલ વિષય અંતુ કનેક્ટ જતાતી તે નામની તે શંકા મન કે છી પૂરા આમગેલે નિજ સ્વરૂપ અમી અનુભૂતિ કર્યો તે અનુભવ કર્યો.
If you want to help other people, then give them Krishna consciousness.
If you want to help other people, then give them Krishna consciousness.
બધા જ આમ તુમ વિંગડ જના સહાય કોરકા જીવન અંતુ તાંક કૃષ્ણ ભક્તિ કૃષ્ણ ભાવનામૃત તુમી દિયાતી તે નિજ હેલ્પ.
I saw a drama in Chennai.
I saw a drama in Chennai.
મહારાજાને ચેન્નઈ એક ડ્રામા પડેલ કઈ.
On the it was a virtual drama.
It was a virtual drama.
વર્ચ્યુઅલ ડ્રામા મળે છે ઝૂમ પ્લેટફોર્મ આ રીતે ડ્રામા પડેલ કે તને.
So two Yamadutas were complaining to Yamaraj.
Two Yamadutas were complaining to Yamaraj.
दोन यमदूत यमराजाला वचून कंप्लेंट करता आशिल्ली के ते ड्रामांतू.
This prachar of Bhaktivedanta Swami is interfering with our work.
This prachar of Bhaktivedanta Swami is interfering with in our work.
ते यमराज यमदूत यमराजाला सांगतात की भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीने भक्तान प्रचार केलेल्या निमित्त आमगेल काम आणि बाद जत्ता असत म्हणून यमराजाला सांगतात की त्यांनी.
We want to take them to hell, but they chant the holy name, we can't touch them.
We want to take them to the hell, but they chant the holy name, we can't catch them.
आमका तांक धोरनु यमलोक हडका जले तानी देवाल नामस्मरण केले तो आमका तांक धोरू जायना आता.
The other Yamaduta complained they have deity in their house.
The other Yamadutas complain they have
Bhagavatam Gita in the house.
They have deity in the house. They have Bhagavatam Gita in their house.
यमदूत यमराजाला सांगतात की तांगेला पुरा घडकडात भगवत गीता भागवतम देवाल विग्रहस घडकडात कशी आडची तांक यमलोका कम.
Whether we get another job, all people chant like this, now we're going to hell.
How do we get the job done when people they chant the names like this?
आमगेले काम अंग यमलोका तांडू नडते कोर्ची कशी आणि पुरा देवाल नामस्मरण देवाल पुस्तकांनी वाचिल्या कोर्ची कसं आम्ही म्हणताना यमराजाला
How will we go to hell?
तांक यमलोका हाडची कशी आम्ही.
I want to say to people, such that you could say the Saraswat community from the Yamadutas.
So in this way you can save the Saraswat community from the Yamadutas.
अशी आम्ही ह्यांची प्रचार आम्ही आमगेल सारस्वत समाजात या भक्ती प्रचार करून या यमदूता दोकून पुरा जनाक आम्ही दूर करूयेत यम पासा दोकून आम्ही पुरा जनाक भायर येऊस तशी करूयेत आमगेल प्रचार.
I had one family, a wife, the daughter, the son, were all disciples.
I had one family, the wife, the son, they all were my disciples.
महाराजाल शिष्य एक फॅमिली आशिल्ली तांतू सगळे परिवार चेडू आनू आवसू पुरा जन तांगेल शिष्य आशिल्ली.
No,
But not the father.
but not the father. Not the whole family. Only the wife and children, not the father.
He was against.
He was against.
ते फॅमिली पुरा जन तांगेल शिष्य आशिल्ली जाल्यार आनू बापूस मात तो तांगेल शिष्य नाशिल्ले के म्हळ्यार तो भक्तीन भावनान
What
भाग
is the use of
घेनाशिल्लो.
all this stuff?
And he was saying, what's the use of all this stuff?
आणि ताण तांगेल परिवारा सांगचेशील के या पुरा कोण काय प्रयोजन ना म्हूण भक्तीचे.
And he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Then he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
मागीर ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ काळान तांकां
Prostate.
Prostate.
A fourth stage of cancer.
मागीर ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ काळान तांकां फोर्थ स्टेज कॅन्सर डायग्नोसिस जालें के मनशान.
Then some hairy, fanged individuals walked to the wall
And then
with ropes in their hand.
some hairy, faint individual with the ropes in their hand walked into the wall.
Through the wall.
Through the wall.
आणि तांणी त्या फोर्थ स्टेज कॅन्सरान तूं पळोवनाशिल तेन्ना तांकां पागरा दोकून कोण की एक भारी भयानक मनुष्य दोरी घेवन तांकां बांदून व्हरचे येता आस म्हूण तांकां दिसलें म्हूण सांगितलें.
They looked just like Yamadutas.
They looked just like Yamadutas.
आणि तांणी यमदूत कशी आसत पण तशी दिसता ती म्हूण तांणी सांगलें.
And he said, no, 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 not me, no, 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 no.
He said, no, 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 not me, no, no.
आणि तांकां पळोवन तांणी भिवन तांणी बोबाट मारचे सूर केले की ना 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 म्हाका न्हय म्हाका घेवन वचूं नाका ती म्हूण.
The Yamadutas disappeared.
And the Yamadutas disappeared.
आणि थंय दोकून यमदूत चमकली की तांणी तशी मळसितात.
He called the wife.
He called the wife.
Read the Bhagavad Gita, give me the next these, give me Java.
Read to me the Bhagavad Gita. Give me the neck beads. Give me the japa beads.
आणि तांणी कुडले ते यमदूताल पळोवन जाता तांकां भायर आयले तर कुडले तांणी बायले आपूण सांगले की तुगे जप माळा दी म्हाका तुगे भगवत गीता दी म्हाका पुरा दी आतां म्हूण. आयज तोळ ते तांकां भक्तींत विश्वास नाशिल्लो.
We're not playing around. We really want to help people.
We are not playing around. We really want to help people.
तुम्ही करची काम आता बायले सांगता की तुम्ही अशी कसं म्हळ्यार हें व्यर्थ न्हय तुम्ही करची काम बद्द जनाल खातीर चांग म्हूण ते मनशा साक्षात्कार जालें.
And I'm so happy that you're having a Bhagavata Utsav, and the future you'll have youth program.
I'm so happy that you are having this Bala Utsav. In the future, you will have youth programs.
आमकां भारी खुशी जाली की तुम्ही ऑलरेडी बाल उत्सव प्रोग्राम करता आसती आनी फ्युचरान तूं युथ प्रोग्राम प्लॅन करता ते आयकून भारी खुशी जाली आमकां.
The Shastra says that if you become mother or father, you should liberate your children from the cycle of birth and death.
The Shastra says if you become mother and father, you should liberate your children from the cycle of birth and death.
शास्त्रान सांगिल्लें आसा की आवस आनी बापूलें मेन कर्तव्य की तांगेल चेडूवांक मृत्यू जरा व्याधीचे चक्रा देखून भायर काडचें हें तांगेल मेन कर्तव्य चेडूवां खातीर.
It's very important that they do these various programs.
It's very important that they do these various programs.
भारी व्हड विशयांनी तो भारी व्हड विशय की चेडूवान भक्तीन तूं भाग घेवचो हें इम्पॉर्टंट वस्तू म्हूण महाराज सांगता.
And I'm very grateful that my disciples are present on the call.
So I'm very grateful to my disciples, those who are present on the call.
आनी आमगे शिष्य कोण आसत हे कॉलार आज उपस्थित आसत हांव तांकां पुरा जनाक म्हाका खुशी जाली कृतज्ञ आसा हांव तुमगेल पुरा जनाल खातीर म्हूण महाराज व्यक्त करता आसत.
Every day in the evening, I give a class in English. It's translated into Bengali, Hindi, and other languages.
My daily class is being translated into English, into Bengali, Hindi, and other languages, which is in English.
आमगेल तांणी दिवची क्लास सदांय बेंगॉली हिंदी इंग्लिशान ट्रान्सलेट जाता आसता केन्नाय म्हूण.
But if there's someone there who wants to translate it to Konkani, that can be also arranged.
So if someone there, if they want it to be translated into Konkani, that also could be arranged.
आनी कोणाकाची तांगेल क्लास कोंकणीन ट्रान्सलेट करता म्हूण जाल्यार ताजे अरेंजमेंट महाराज कोण दितली ती म्हूण फ्युचरांत.
I mean, so any I'll have in here since I came a little late, but
I'll end here. I came a little late.
I do want to thank you for inviting me, and I'm very much grateful
I do
for all
want
the activities you're doing.
I do like to thank you for inviting me, and very much grateful for all the activities that you're doing.
महाराज पुराजना धन्यवाद करता सर की तांका या प्लॅटफॉर्मार इन्व्हाइट केल्लें आणि तांका भारी खुशी जाली आणि कृतज्ञ सर पुराजन आयकून या पुरा विंगड विंगड ऍक्टिव्हिटीज कार्यक्रम करता सर ती आयकून तांका भारी खुशी जाली म्हणून तांणी पुन्हा सांगता सर.
His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
Are there any questions? I can time for any questions. I could take a couple.
If there is any question, if there is some time for question, I can
What?
take some questions.
कोणाक कशें प्रश्न असल्यारी आता निमगो येता ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಯ असत प्रश्न करते.
Are there two ways?
So there are two ways,
In many ways, probably.
in many ways probably.
But
मस्सकड विषय संतू कशी ते आम्ही आमगेले चॅन्टिंग जप इम्प्रूव करूं सुधारण करूं.
one is you focus your eyes on Guru or deities or picture
One, if you focus your eyes on the guru or deity or the picture,
and chant,
and if you chant
listen to your chanting,
and listen to your chanting,
आम्ही गुरु विग्रहाचे विग्रहावैरी मन दिवनु गुरु ज्ञान कोरनु आम्ही नामस्मरण ऐकूच तशी आमगे मनाक फोकस करका म्हणून महाराज सांगता.
and I read in one place that Haridas Thakur, whenever any idea came in his mind,
I read in one place for Haridas Thakur, whenever some ideas came into his mind,
त्यांनी ऐकलेलं असं की हरिदास ठाकूरानं तांगेल मनान कसने जप करताना आयडिया येता कसने विचार येत तशी जाल्यारी
he would chant louder.
he would chant louder.
त्यांनी आनिके घट्टी जप करता आशिल्ली की ताका तांगेल मन केंद्रित करचें पडटा.
And then if an idea came in his mind, he'd chant louder.
So when the idea came into mind, he chanted even louder.
आणि आनिके तांकां विचारांत येवन तांकां मन केंद्रित करूं जायनातल्यारी तांणी तांगेल जप आनिके घट्टी म्हणटा आशिल्ली ती हरिदास ठाकूर अशें महाराज
I
सांगता.
was a bhakta, had so many ideas only in the mind.
So when I was a bhakta, there were so many ideas in my mind.
1968.
1968.
1968 ಅಂತ हांव नवो भक्त आशिल्लो तेन्ना म्हगेल मनांत कितलीं सकट विचार येता आशिल्लीं ती जप करताना.
So I was chanting louder and louder and louder.
I was chanting louder and louder and louder and louder.
आणि तांगेल मन केंद्रित करूं जायना आशिल्लें तेन्ना तांणी जप घट्टी आनिके घट्टी म्हणचे सूर केलो म्हणून म्हणटात महाराज.
And all the devotees went and complained to Prabhupada, this bhakta, he chants so loud, he
And
can't think.
all the devotees, they went and complained to Srila Prabhupada, this bhakta, he chants so loud, we can't think. Sorry.
आणि त्या टायमार महाराजाल खातीर पुराजन विंगड भक्तान वचून प्रभुपाद स्वामीले कंप्लेंट केली की हो इतली घट्टी म्हणटा आमकां जप कॉन्सन्ट्रेट करूं जायना हो इतली घट्टी जप करता असं म्हणून हो भक्त.
Prabhupada told me and asked me to explain why was I chanting so loud.
And Prabhupada told me and he asked me to explain why was I chanting so loud.
आणि कंप्लेंट केलेली निमित्त प्रभुपाद स्वामीनं तांकां आपोवन निमगेल काय महाराजाक की तुम्ही इतली घट्टी जप कशाला करता ती म्हणून.
I explained to him, I read that Haridas Thakur chant louder every time a thought came in his mind.
So I explained to him, Haridas Thakur would chant louder every time some thought came into his mind.
महाराजान प्रभुपाद स्वामी सांगले की हांव आयकलेलो आसा की हरिदास ठाकुराक अशी मनांत विचार येवन तांणी केंद्रीत करून तांणी अशी घट्टी जप करचे आशिल्लें म्हणून तांणी प्रभुपाद स्वामी सांगले.
Prabhupada said, that's not so bad,
Prabhupada said, that's not so bad,
but you're disturbing all the devotees.
but you are disturbing the other devotees.
प्रभुपाद स्वामीन सांगले वय तें तुम्ही करची समजी तशें कांय तांचो वित्ते आसना जाल्यार विंगड पुरा चिके तांकां डिस्टर्ब जाता आसा तुम्ही घट्टी म्हणलेले निमित्त म्हणून.
You can chant in the park.
So you can chant in the park.
तो घट्टी जप करका जाल्यार चिके पार्का वचून बसून घट्टी करया ती विंगड जनाक डिस्टर्ब जाता तशें करनाका ती म्हणून प्रभुपाद स्वामीन तांकां सांगले की महाराजाक.
When I figured out I could chant louder to bring the mind back, and then
So I figured out.
just to call volume.
Okay. So then I figured out if you chant loud and you can bring your mind back and reduce your
volume,
Vo- then,
volume.
then you can reduce your volume.
एक पंथ घट्टी जप करून जतरी मन आपास आयले जपावेर केंद्रित करतरी मागीर तुम्ही जाव काय तुमगेल वॉल्यूमची के उण करूं येता म्हण मन केंद्रित जलस
Or as a manager, I carry a little notebook
So as a manager, I used to carry a little notebook.
हांव हांव म्हटल्यार मस्त सगळें काम मॅनेज करता आशिल्लें एज अ मॅनेजर तांगेलें एक सान एक नोटबुक तांगेलें केन्नाय दवरता आशिल्लें
some thought came that I had to do this or that. I write it on notebook and go back to chanting.
So if some thought came into my mind, I have to do this, I have to do that, I would write it down in the notebook, then I used to go back to the chanting.
आनी एक पंथ कसं न्हय तांगेल मनांत कसं न्हय विचार आयले इम्पॉर्टंट जाल्यार तें नोट करता आशिल्लें तांणी तें नोटबुक लागीं दवरता आशिल्लें के तातूंत तें कुठलें बरोवन सोडता आशिल्लीं के तें म्हळ्यार तें बरयलें सिता तें एक पंथ मनांत दुखून गेलें न्हय म्हूण ताणी मग जप करता आशिल्लें
How to overcome attachment and aversion?
Who's asking the question?
Her name is JPS Purna Premamayi GDD.
You see, attachment and aversion is part of the mind.
You see, attachment and aversion is the part of the mind.
मनाक कसं न्हय जावका कसं न्हय नाका हें मनाचें एकच प्रकार चरित्र
It's natural.
So it's natural.
मनात स्वभावची की ताका एक पंथ खंयची वस्तू लायक जाता खंयची वस्तू लायक जायना
But we should understand that we're not the body, we're not the mind, and become more attached to Krishna.
And we should understand that we are not this body, we are not this mind, and we should become more attached to Lord Krishna.
आनी आमकां ताचें आमकां मुखारी केन्ना आमी मुखार सिता तेन्ना आमकां कळटा की आमी आमगेल देह शरीर न्ही आमी आमगेल मन न्ही आमगेल निज स्वरूप कसं न्हय आनी आमगेलें आकर्शण कृष्णा प्रती जावका
And our attachment, aversion to be changed to Krishna consciousness.
So attachment and aversion should be changed to Krishna consciousness.
सो मनाक कसं लायक जाता कसं न्हय लायक ना ताचे विशय सोडून आमी देवाल विशयांतू आकर्शीत जावन तें मन देवाल वेळ केंद्रीत करता
We're attached to things which can help us be Krishna conscious.
We should attach to things which would help us to be Krishna conscious.
आनी खंयचें कसं कार्य आमी करता ती खंयच्या विशयांतू आमकां देवाल भक्ती प्रती आकर्शीत जावन भक्ती आनीकय करता म्हूण दिसता तसले विशयांत आमगेल मन घालता
Averse to the things which will be against our Krishna consciousness.
And be averse to the things which will be averse to Krishna consciousness.
आनी
Against to
खंयचें
Krishna.
आनी खंयची कृष्णाल भक्ती कृष्ण भावनामृता खातीर ते प्रतिकूल आसा ते खंयची चांग न्ही तसले विशयांत मन घालूनच
That's not a problem.
That's not a problem.
तो व्हड विशय न्ही महाराज सांगता ते जातलें
But normally we're attached to things which give us material happiness.
Normally, we are attached to things which give us material happiness.
आमकां एक देहात सुखाची कसन कसन मेळटा ताजे विशयार आमगेल मन चिके चड वता म्हळ्यार भौतीक विशयांत
Averse to things that people will cause us suffering.
And averse to the things or people which causes us suffering.
आनी कसं न्हय कोणाल निमित्त और खंयच्या विशया निमित्त आमकां कश्ट जाता दुःख जाता ते आमी सोडतात तातूंत देखून आमी दूर रावतात नॉर्मली
So we change our whole orientation.
So we change our whole orientation.
सो आमी कशी आमी खंयच्या विशयाक पळयता ती ताका आमी आतां विंगड रितीन पळोवचें सुरू करता म्हूण फुडें म्हणचे न्ही
Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. I am initiated from Coimbatore in 2002. Since that date, I have been facing so many troubles in my life, Guru Maharaj. And see, my wife was not well, and she did not get initiated at that time. and still she is doing her rounds still. And my daughter has got a child, is having autism. So many problems I am facing in my life. In spite of that, I am continuing with chanting 16 rounds and more than that. And I am also doing my usual service also. But please bless me, Maharaj, with courage and temerity to continue my life like this, with more courage.
Guru Maharaj is saying that he was initiated by you in 2002, but even after getting initiated, he's finding so many troubles in his life and all those things. But still, he's keeping up with his initiation vows, chanting 16 rounds and all those things, serving in the local temple there. So he's requesting you to bless him so that he can get the courage to face all this problem and progress in his Krishna consciousness.
Being in the material world means problems.
Being in this material world means problems.
संसारांत जन्म घेतला म्हळ्यार प्रॉब्लेम आसची त्यांची आशेंची विषय तो मग.
And we think that with the problem we're facing are reduced because of Krishna.
So we think the problems that we are facing is reduced because of Krishna.
मात आमकां हे संसारांत कसं प्रॉब्लेम आसता पळय ते आमी भक्तीन दायिल निमित्त ते उणी जाता ते खंडित.
But we know that this material world is a dukkhalayam, asasvatam.
We know that this material world is dukkhalayam ashasvatam.
हे भौतिक संसाराक देवान सांगिल्लें आसा दुःखालयम आनी हें अशाश्वत जावन आशिल्लें म्हणून.
And the place of suffering.
It's a place of suffering.
दुःखाचो संसार.
That's why we want you to leave this world and go back to Godhead.
That's why we want you to leave this world and go back home, back to Godhead.
हाजी खातीरच हें भक्ती करता आसा ताकाच हें जन्म लास्ट आनी हें संसार सोडून आमी आध्यात्मिक जगतांत वचूका म्हूण महाराज
Your
सांगता.
desire should be more fixed to go back home, back to Krishna.
Your desire should be more fixed to get back home, back to Krishna.
आमी दृढ आसूं का आमगेल संकल्पांतू की होच जन्म लास्ट आनी आमी मुखारसून जन्म घेयनासी देवाल्या पावका म्हूण तशें आमी दृढ संकल्प आसूं का.
If the world was too nice, you'd want to stay here.
If the world is too nice, people want to stay here.
आनी भारी संसारान मस्त सूख असल्यार मागीर कोणी आमतू दुखून भायर पडना ती ताका देवान जावका म्हूण आमकां दुःख दिवचें ताका देवाल्या येवेत आमी.
So there'll always be a certain amount of problems.
So there will always be a certain amount of problem.
कशी कसनेपणी केल्यार ह्या संसारांत आमी जीवन कितलें चांग करूं गेल्यार दुःख आसतल्यांची कश्ट आसतल्यांची ते आमकां तांत दुखून भायर येवचें जायना.
See, I have cellulitis leg pain.
So you see, I have cellulitis leg pain right now.
आतां हे आमकां तांकां कशें की हाजे तांणी सांगिल्लें तें सेल्युलायटीस तांचे दुखतास के महाराज सांगता आसा उलयता आसतना.
I was thinking how Panchatattva Lord Chaitanya and his associates, when they see the whole world flooded in love of Godhead, they are parama ulas. They're supremely heavy.
But I was thinking that how the Panchatattva, when they see the whole world is flooded with love of Godhead, they are in Parama Ullas, in extreme bliss, supreme happiness, supreme bliss.
मात्र पंचतत्व कोण चैतन्य महाप्रभू असं त्यांनी तांकां दिसता काय की देवाल नामस्मरण करून भक्तीन भाग घेताना ह्या संसारांत वय एक आनंद त्यांनी परम आनंद त्यांनी अनुभव करतात ती ह्या संसारार राबून.
I'm thinking how nice it would be to please Lord Chaitanya and his associates of Panchatattva.
And I was thinking how nice it would be to please Lord Chaitanya and his associates, the Panchatattva.
आणि महाराज सांगता असं की कितलं चांग विषय चैतन्य महाप्रभूनी पंच तांगेले पुरा पार्श्वत जावन आशिल्लें तांकां खुशी करची म्हळ्यार कितलो व्हड विषय आमी भक्तींत भाग घेवन.
And I was feeling so happy.
And I was feeling so happy.
आणि ह्या ऐकून तांकां इतलो आनंद जालो महाराजाक हो विशय चिंतन करून.
But my leg was paining.
But my leg was paining.
तांगेले पाय या मस्त दुखेस काही म्हळ्यार दुखी भोगता तांकां जाल्यार चैतन्य महाप्रभूलाय आनी तांगेले पंचतत्वाल विशय चिंतन केले सिता तांकां आनंद हृदयांतू तांकां अनुभव जाता आसा म्हूण.
So you want you to be happy, and what the problems in the material world will not go away.
We want you to be happy, but the problems in this material world will not go away.
सो तुम्ही आनंदमय जीवन व्यतीत करता वय जाल्यार ह्या संवसारात देखून कष्ट वतले तशी जायना.
It's a place of problems, of troubles, of death.
So this is a place of problem, of troubles, of death.
जगत ते म्हळ्यार कष्ट आसतलें, मरण आसतलें, दुःख आसतलेंच.